Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. Today will be a special double feature as we showcase two different action figures from Hasbro's Titan Hero series. On our left, we have Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors Venom. And then on our right, we have the much larger, beefier Spider-Man Maximum Venom. Alright, so we have two different iterations of the same character, and they're both within the 12-inch scale. And the differences between the figure, it's like night and day. Just look at that. On one hand, you have this really skinny, lankier version of Venom, and then over here we have the fully jacked up and huge, swole Eddie Brock Venom, and this one looks awesome. I love the box art. Really, really cool illustration. Alright, so first up, let's start with the skinny guy right here. This is Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors from the Titan Hero series. Okay, so we have the smaller Venom. This guy stands in at about 11.5 inches. Very skinny, very glossy in its color scheme. It's a really shiny, glossy black. It's almost like a piano black. What's nice on this figure is that the spider emblem is actually sculpted onto the figure. It's not just painted on. And then they even sculpted the emblem on the back as well. Unfortunately, there is no paint on this, but at least from the front. The head's alright. It's not the greatest. He has his tongue lashing out and then the sharp fangs, but I kind of feel like the paint job at the connection point where the teeth meet the tongue could have been done a lot cleaner. But keep in mind, this is a budget action figure aimed at little ones, and for the price point, you are getting a decent piece of plastic. His articulation is as follows. His head simply swivels left and right. A little bit tight. His arms go up, and then his legs kick out. So a very basic 12-inch figure, but if you have little ones, this is a great toy for them to play with. Very durable. If you're a casual collector, this is a nice statement piece to put on your bookshelf in your nerd cave. And up next, we have the big, chunky, big boy Venom right here. This is from the Maximum Venom line, which some of you might remember from a few years ago. It's kind of like this huge Venom campaign, and Hasbro had a whole line of Maximum Venom inspired action figures. Again, I love this box art. Awesome comic book illustration of Venom. And the figure is nice and beefy. This is a figure that's been released a couple of times, but just in different packaging. So you might see this currently at your local store. Alright, this Venom figure is awesome. Alright, so for the price point on this figure, you're looking at something that I think might run, I want to say maybe $15 in the United States. This is a figure I've seen multiple times at my local Walmarts and Targets. Regardless of how you feel about these 12-inch figures, this one, even though it's very limited in its articulation, this is easily one of my favorite Venom figures ever, period. I think it's beautiful. The proportions are really well done. It really captures Venom at his full-on ferocity. My one complaint is I kind of wish they painted this area maybe pink or red. Because in the comic books, I kind of think this is more conveyed as like a muscle tissue. But for the toy, maybe this is kind of thought of as being like saliva or slime, and that's why they gave it the green color as opposed to red. But it's such a beautiful looking figure. Very large. He stands in at almost 12 inches. And I'm going to say this because I know some people are really big on scale. But there's a part of me that almost feels like if you want it to be crazy, you could migrate this big guy into your 6-inch line of Marvel Legends and just say it's like Venom fully maxed out and he's like gone into beast mode. But this thing is beautiful. The one thing the smaller Venom has over this guy is that this guy, for his Venom emblem, it's just simply painted on. It's not sculpted on. The back, he does have that port for that accessory that came out many years ago. There were some figures, I think it was like in the Avengers Endgame 12-inch line. It was kind of like an electronic accessory that you could plug into the back of the figure. And if you look close enough, you can even see the Avengers A right there in the middle. But yeah, this is great. This is a nice version of the Eddie Brock Venom in 12-inch form. The head sculpt is wild. I love the tongue. It's very dynamic and very animated looking. The lenses are sculpted really well, as are his upper mouth and lips. Again, this has a very glossy black finish, but it's beautiful. This guy is a beast. His articulation, his head swivels left and right. It's on a ball joint, but the movement is kind of limited. His arms go up, and I believe they also go outward. He has articulation at the wrists, allowing them to swivel, although it is very tight. They do move. The hips are articulated as well, allowing the legs to kick up. And for a size comparison, just look at this. This guy is enormous. It's a beast. If you happen to like have this one, if you wanted to, you could buy a couple of these and this kind of army build and say these are like secondary symbiotes, where this guy here is kind of like the alpha. And give me a moment. I'm going to grab a Spider-Man figure. Alright, so this is one of my favorite 12-inch Spider-Mans, also produced by Hasbro in the Titan Hero series. A very evergreen, iconic look for the character. And if you look at them next to Venom, they just look great. You know, we have the two rivals going at it, and they look fantastic. You know, the size on this Venom here is perfect. The proportions, the scale, it just fits in so well in the 12-inch line of figures. You know, other figures that are about this size are also the Hulk, but I kind of feel like this one might be larger than the 12-inch Hulk figure. But yeah, very, very satisfied with this purchase. It's awesome. And it feels like the tongue's even articulated a little bit also. It does move around, which is nice. So you can either have it going off to the side, or if you want, you can put it forward. So yeah, very stoked on these 12-inch Titan Heroes. They're awesome. If you have little ones, I can't recommend these enough. They're just beautiful toys. And if you're a casual collector, you know, even though these aren't at the same level as like a premium collectible, they do make nice display pieces. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.